What's up mga Ka-Tingog? This is Glenn, and today we'll talk about the 1987 Philippine Constitution. What is Philippine Constitution? It serves as the supreme or fundamental law, and it also establishes basic framework and underlying principles of the government. The Constitution currently in effect was enacted in 1987, and it is now properly known as the 1987 Philippine Constitution. So before we dig deep on the 1987 Philippine Constitution, let's talk about the history of the Constitution itself. So the Philippines has had a total of 6 constitutions since the proclamation of independence on June 12, 1989. First is the Malolos Constitution. The first Philippine Constitution, the first Republican Constitution in Asia, was drafted and adopted by the First Philippine Republic, which lasted from 1899 to 1901. Second is the Organic Act of 1902 and the Philippine Autonomy Act of 1916. It serves as the Constitution of the Philippines from 1902 to 1935 during the American occupation. In 1934, the United States Congress passed the Philippine Independence Act that mandated the Philippine legislature to call for an elected of delegates to a constitutional convention to draft a constitution for the Philippines, which later became the 1935 Constitution. During the World War II, the Japanese-sponsored government nullified the 1935 Constitution and appointed a preparatory committee on Philippine independence to replace it. The 1943 Constitution was used by the Second Republic with Jose P. Laurel as president. Upon the liberation of the Philippines in 1945, the 1935 Constitution came back into effect. The Constitution remained unaltered until 1947 when the Philippine Congress called for its amendment through Commonwealth Act No. 733. The Constitution thereafter remained the same until the declaration of martial law on September 23, 1972. Before President Marcos declared martial law, a constitutional convention was already in the process of deliberating and amending or revising the 1935 Constitution and later became the 1973 Constitution. Democracy was restored in 1986. President Corazon Aquino issued Proclamation No. 3 suspending certain provisions of the 1973 Constitution. A month later, President Aquino issued Proclamation 9, Series of 1986, which created a constitutional commission tasked with writing a new charter to replace the 1973 Constitution, which later then became the 1987 Philippine Constitution, which we are currently using up until now. So right now, let's move on and talk about the 1987 Philippine Constitution, focusing on some sections of Article 2 and Article 3. Section 1. The Philippines is a democratic and republican state. Sovereignty resides in the people and all government authority emanates from them. Section 3. Civilian authority is at all times supreme over the military. The Armed Forces of the Philippines is the protector of the people and the state. Its goal is to secure the sovereignty of the state and the integrity of the national territory. Section 4. The prime duty of the government is to serve and protect the people. The government may call upon the people to defend the state, and in the fulfillment thereof, all citizens may be required, under conditions provided by law, to render personal military or civil service. Section 5. The maintenance of peace and order, the protection of life, liberty, and property, and promotion of the general welfare are essential for the enjoyment by all the people of the blessings of democracy. Section 9. The state shall promote a just and dynamic social order that will ensure the prosperity and independence of the nation and free the people from poverty through policies that provide adequate social services, promote full employment, a rising standard of living, and an improved quality of life for all. Section 10. The state shall promote social justice in all phases of national development. Section 11. The state values the dignity of every human person and guarantees full respect for human rights. Section 15. The state shall protect and promote the right to health of the people and instill health consciousness among them. Section 24. The state recognizes the vital role of communication and information in nation building. Section 27. The state shall maintain honesty and integrity in the public service and take positive and effective measures against graft and corruption. Section 1. No person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall any person be denied the equal protection of the laws. Section 2. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures of whatever nature and for any purpose shall be inviolable, and no search warrant or warrant of arrest shall issue except upon probable cause to be determined personally by the judge after examination under oath or affirmation of the complainant and the witnesses he may produce, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Section 4. No law shall be passed abridging the freedom of speech, of expression, or the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and petition the government for redress or grievances. Section 7. The right of the people to information in matters of public concern shall be recognized. Access to official records and documents and papers pertaining to official acts, transactions, or decisions, as well as to government research data used as basis for policy development, shall be afforded the citizen subject to such limitation as stated. Section 12, number 1. Any person under investigation for the commission of an offense shall have the right to be informed of his right to remain silent and to have competent and independent counsel, preferably of his own choice. If the person cannot afford the services of counsel, he must provide with one. These rights cannot be waived except in writing and in the presence of counsel. 2. No torture, force, violence, threat, intimidation, or any other means which vitiate the free will shall be used against him. Secret detention places, solitary, incommunicado, or other similar forms of detention are prohibited. 3. Any confession or admission obtained in violation of this or Section 17 hereof shall be inadmissible in evidence against him. 4. The law shall provide for penal and civil sanctions of violations of this section, as well as compensation to and rehabilitation of victims of torture or similar practices and their families. Section 18. No person shall be detained solely by reason of his political beliefs and aspirations. 2. No involuntary servitude in any form shall except as a punishment for a crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted. If you have something that you want us to talk about, feel free to message our Facebook page. O ayaw kalimot nga, mutingog ko, tingog ka, tingog bay!